I'm showing 10:58, and we'll get started here in about 2 minutes if we can get a quorum together. I think our committee's time to start. Let's give a couple of minutes, see if anybody else shows up of interest. I thought we had some interesting bills on today. That's my job. Well, we're glad you're punctual. I understand. Clerk, call the roll.
Senator Albritton?
Here.
Senator Chambliss? Senator Beasley? Senator Coleman? Senator Coleman-Madison? Senator Elliott? Senator Gavan? Senator Jones? Senator Kelly? Senator Livingston? Senator Orr? Senator Price? Senator Shonut? Senator Stewart? Senator Stutz? Senator Weaver?
We have a quorum. Thank you, gentlemen and ladies, for being here and present. Call the first bill.
SB 57, Senator Orr.
Senator Orr, you ready?
You know, it is what it is, Mr. Chairman. I have two amendments for this bill. This is an initiative that I believe, last count, 18 states have applied for waivers for certain products under the SNAP program to prevent them. It doesn't reduce benefits at all, but it does rein in certain products based on the sugar content. So generally speaking, you have soft drinks as one category, and you have another category of candy. The two amendments that I have, Mr. Chairman, one doesn't really change much on the soda or soft drink part, and the second amendment doesn't change a whole lot, but it does make clarify that items such as jellies, jams, marshmallows, et cetera, are not confections, baked good, are not candy, and corn syrup, sugar, cane sugar still have to be the primary ingredient in that group. But then it says confectionery products, and I think I saw a memo or a letter that I got to my office yesterday from some national group, about confectioner item. Well, that's what this amendment handles, that particular area. So I'd like to offer the First Amendment, and as I said, this is one that just comes from the
This is the
drink
shorter.
industry.
This is the shorter one,
Yes,
correct?
yes, sir.
Is this the Save My Diet Dr Pepper bill amendment?
I don't think so.
Well, it says
but
2 ingredients: carbonated water, sugar cane syrup.
Right.
Corn syrup. So if it doesn't have any of those, then that's legal.
well, it can have them, but it can't be. Sugar can't be
Exactly, but if it doesn't have any sugar in it.
Yes. Well, no, you can have sugar, but it's got to be 3, 4, 5, or 6 in the list
Okay.
of contents of ingredients.
All right. I was hoping you'd set aside my Diet Dr Pepper, but
Yeah. Diet Dr Pepper would be fine under this.
that's what I was thinking. All right. I like it.
If your diet,
I move for adoption of the amendment.
Yeah. What? Yeah.
We got a second, motion and second. Let's get a roll, call the roll on, we're on the amendment to, yes, the shorter one.
Shorter one.
Call the roll.
Senator Albritton,
Aye.
Senator Chambliss, Senator Beasley, Senator Coleman, Senator Coleman Madison, Senator Elliott,
Aye.
Senator Gavan, Senator Jones, Senator Kelly, Senator Livingston, Senator Orr,
Aye.
Senator Price, Senator Shonut, Senator Stewart, Senator Stutz, Senator Weaver, Senator Coleman.
All right. Amendment's been adopted. Now, the second amendment.
Second Amendment. Second Amendment's a little longer. It does primarily 2 things. One, on the candy definition, as I said, carves out that, it doesn't affect jams and jellies and marshmallows and confection, baked goods, things like that. The other thing it does is there was, from the industry, I heard we need a list. We need somebody to keep the list of what complies with this if the waiver is granted by the feds, and what might be on the list, what might not be on the list. Who's going to keep that? So this amendment designates the Department of Revenue as the keeper of the list. And this bill, if passed and if the waiver is granted, tracks what a lot of other states are doing. So the thinking is that our list will be similar to Tennessee's list, which will be similar to Mississippi's list, and et cetera, et cetera. So we'll have the known list, so it won't be a big, we're not deviating from what's occurring across the country. For you early states, a little bit different, but it's all kind of gravitating towards this
So this bill,
common language.
this amendment then exempts certain baking items and
Correct.
those type of
And
items.
jams, jellies, marshmallows. You see the laundry list.
Exactly, and also establishes the Department of Revenue as the list keeper of those
List keepers.
specific
Good way
items.
with the SKUs, the SKUs, and
Yeah,
the product
right.
codes and all that, because it can be quite comprehensive, particularly in the soft drink and the drink world. There's just a lot of products, many not in Alabama, but
All right, I'll move for adoption of the amendment. We have a second, Senator Gavan. Any discussion?
Yes, sir.
It's Senator Coleman Madison.
Senator Orr, seems like you're getting a reputation here on these. Why are you bringing these bills?
these bills,
You have more than one.
yeah, well, I have one with the cross-check on the data, using data to cross-check eligibility. This bill does not reduce the benefit at all. It would reduce the products that can be purchased in a pretty finite way. But in my mind, Senator, when you have, we bounce around between the 3rd and 4th and 5th most obese state in the country. It seems like it is good policy, and a lot of those would probably be on Medicaid, particularly in the CHIPS program. And we've got an obesity problem among children and adults. It seems like it's good policy to say the taxpayer shouldn't be funding sugar type drinks, et cetera, that are contributing to statewide obesity levels. Let's rein it in, and we have an administration that's willing to do that, to grant these waivers. So let's rein it in. Again, diet items, et cetera, they're not touched by this. And, you know, if it were up to me, if I were king for a day, I'd put it all on the WIC definition, all of it, and just do 100% WIC. But, you know, for as far as if the taxpayers are paying, let's do healthy, you know, meat, produce, eggs, dairy, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera.
What's the WIC definition?
Basically what I just said. I mean, it's produce, canned goods. It's not, I don't think processed foods qualify. So chips, chip dip, all that, what we would say junk food, doesn't qualify under the WIC definition. But that's out of the realm of possibility.
Yeah.
And this is what's possible these days.
And look at, I understand what you're saying, because we're talking about providing nutritious foods for people. I do understand that. Do we know, obviously we know how much, I guess, have you gotten the figures on, how much is this saving the state, or?
No, it won't save,
money,
you know, being all federal dollars, it won't save the state any money. But what it, you know, in the grand scheme of things, if these products are prevented from being purchased via SNAP, presumption would be that maybe instead of these products being purchased, something more healthy might be purchased. And that would be a good thing for old, young, and everybody in between.
And how many states have this already?
18 to my knowledge.
Now, going back to this list, it seems like it might be a nightmare for grocers. You know, now, it's just like, say, you go in Walmart, and a lot of people shop at Walmart.
I've been talking to them, and that's the reason.
Scan and go, you know, so you don't have a checker. How is that?
Well, I've been talking to both the grocers group and the convenience store group, and that's the reason there was a request for, and they said some states have done it, you know, who's keeping the list? They don't want to be picking and choosing and looking at, but it's kind of simple. You look at the ingredients on the can or the package, and you see, okay, is
Who's
sugar.
gonna do this now?
Well, the cashier could, but there'll be a list, and that's the reason the revenue department will keep the list. And once the word gets out, what's on the list, what's not on the list, and of course the scanners will handle it when you got scanners. But if you're country store and you don't have a
the scanners.
a scanner in the country store, like I said, pretty easy to look at it and see what the sugar content is.
I can just see this though being kind of a nightmare for people in that industry. I'm not saying that I'm opposed to what you're doing. I can see the merits of it, but if you go into these stores where you do go through a checker, that's going to be a long line behind. I don't see how, if you're going through the scan and go, which is where most of this is coming through, because, you know, you just scan it. The scanner is.
Well, they'll know. The scanner will know, and that will be easy to know whether it's a kicked out transaction or not. You know, they'll be able to, they being the grocers with the scanners, it'll be able to read it. Is it eligible or not? And if you're buying toilet paper and whatever, that's not SNAP eligible, so that goes kind of in a different pot.
So if the scanner will know if they're going through a checkout, whether you have to scan it anyway. So even if you're going through checkout where you've got a person there, it will pick up anyway.
With a scanner, yes.
It's the smaller stores that's going to have it where they don't have
The
that.
country store that might be out there that doesn't have a scanner, but that's the reason the definition's so simple of, okay, where's it lying? And of course, there'll be the master list held by the Department of Revenue.
Will the persons who are receiving the benefits, will they be sent a list or whatever? How will this get out to them so they'll know if this passes?
I would imagine that would be handled by the department that handles SNAP. That what products are eligible or no longer eligible would probably be the easiest way to do it.
Yeah. Well, I and my final comment. I see the chairman is he's giving me that look, like how they do it. I can see.
You haven't completely wore out your welcome, but you're getting close.
But you know, we're going to have to re-educate a whole new generation that was reared on sweets and snacks and stuff like that. It's going to have to kind of be a withdrawal time, I guess, for kids that grew up on eating all the sugar.
That's not all a bad thing.
Senator Jones?
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. I have a question and then a couple comments. So if this list is, I guess, sent to the stores and they are supposed to update the list because products are changing continually.
Who is they? The
department.
yeah.
Right? So something gets missed, a store, sells something that's a, sugar beverage. Who's liable? What happens? Are they on the hook for the money? How does that work?
I don't know if the bill I think is it the product? I don't want to get my bills confused, Senator, and I don't have a copy.
I just think that's important to nail down in this legislation because, you got a 16-year-old cashier that swipes a Coca-Cola, rings it up under the wrong thing, and next thing you know, it's deducted out of SNAP, and the store's in trouble, and they get a fine. I mean, I could just see that going all sorts of crossways.
Well, if you want to have an amendment as to how it will be handled for violations, we can talk about it. Be glad to.
Okay. And the comment I would have is, I love the intent of this legislation, but I've got two concerns with it. One, I don't understand why we're singling out the soft drink folks when there are plenty of other sugary things that are not healthy. You know what I mean? Why we're going with that.
My understanding is this is the extent of the waiver that the federal government will provide the U.S. Department of Agriculture these days. This is as far-reaching as they will go.
Okay.
So we're kind of playing within their boundaries that they set.
Gotcha. And then my next comment would be, although I like the concept, I just don't think the juice is worth the squeeze. And what I mean by that is the SNAP money is the same regardless, but we're paying an administrator to maintain this list. And I don't have to tell everybody in this room, Coke, Pepsi, they come out with seasonal products every quarter, right? There are different things throughout the Christmas holidays, whatever. Somebody's going to have to be responsible to scan that all or put that all into a list. And then however often it's updated, the store is going to be responsible to update that into their software.
But those happen all the time, Senator. I mean, the updates, and I mean, I'm not in the grocery business, but I'd imagine it may be daily or weekly with the scanners, the pricing of the products and all the different products.
But I'm just saying, we're going through all that, and it's not saving us a dime. It's still the same amount of SNAP dollars that they get that we get.
If it helps the child and the nutrition of the child, maybe we've done a good thing. So, and helps with the Medicaid program and the cost of Medicaid with obesity and with the adults, with the high blood pressure, and the list goes on. Nurse Weaver could probably add to that list. But there are a lot of implications with obesity, and maybe this might help.
I just don't know if it's worth the state paying those costs, because I think there are going to be some significant administrative costs to implement all this, which, maybe we make that up on, saving healthcare dollars. I don't know. But to me, it just seems cumbersome and burdensome, although I appreciate the intent. So I'm going to have to be a no on this one. Thank you.
Senator Coleman.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. First, before the legislation, I wish somebody could tell us why the building is moving. Or when it's, I don't know about you all. Are you not feeling something under us like we're moving? What's going on? Oh, okay. Well, I know this. I know this building is. I was going to say, I know this building is up for being demolished. I just want to make sure they don't do something while we're in here. Although some people might want to do that.
Your wishful thinking, Senator. Your questions.
Thank you. On the legislation, I think there's already been some pretty good discussion on the list and maybe some holes in the list. My issue is how paternalistic it is. I'm not even, again, I'm one that I support the notion that all of us need to be healthier. We all need to be eating better, myself included. But this is very paternalistic to, number one, assume that people that are on these benefits don't know how to make the correct decisions for their children. And then why single this group out? There are other folks who actually have public benefits, get public money, but yet they'll be able to use their funds to purchase whatever they want to. I mean, if you're a veteran and you get whatever, disability or whatever you get as a vet, that's public money. So are we going to tell them next that they can't, drink a soft drink, although that might not be the best, right? So you have, these people are low-income folks who are on this program. So now a mother can't go get a birthday cake or a little Debbie cake for their child as a special treat. It's just a little paternalistic for me, and that's the reason of my no. Although I support 100% that we as a nation need to do better about making healthy choices. And that was short, wasn't it, Mr. Chair? No further comments from me on
Senator
this.
Stutz.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Senator Orr, I just wanted to say I support your bill, and the 32 years that I practiced medicine in Alabama, I frequently ask as I approached retirement age, what's the biggest changes you saw in your practice? And hands down, it's the size of the patients. Obesity is an epidemic within our state, contributes to all kinds of other healthcare problems, and we know the data shows that children that are obese become obese adults. And so when we can impact things at this level early on and maybe teach some healthy eating choices, and I'm 100% for it. So thank you.
Thank you.
Good discussion. Any other comments, questions? Senator Stewart.
Mr. Chairman, thank you for this opportunity. Can you hear me? I know I'm kind of strong.
Don't wear out your welcome.
I'll make it quick, and I just want to share some concerns I have about this legislation. My concern as someone who represents a food desert and one of the poorest areas in the state, it's important for me that we do not legislate dignity away from Alabamians. And what I mean by that is that this legislation would create a two-tier system. You get to have this. You don't get to have that. Because you're poor, you can't have like a snack cake on your birthday. And my grocery stores and convenience stores are heavily subsidized by EBT. You see it at your gas stations. This really affects the profit margins. And when we talk about the administrative burden, that could be money leaving our state to a company, the contractors with the oversight, a company outside of Alabama that could oversee this list or these checks. And so for me, it's important for people who live in poverty. So much has happened to this group. They had their food stamps stolen last year. This is the same group with no redress. They had with the government shut down, delays and hunger. We had to be outside of the State House to try to get support for our food banks. I want us to take a more holistic approach as we deal with obesity and things of that nature. You know what else lowers obesity? Public transportation. If we had access, we have to look at the social determinants of health. We have to look at how where you live affects your outcomes, your health outcomes. And so we haven't dealt in our state with food deserts in a meaningful way. And so I think that would be a better use of our time, having more farmers markets, more incentives for that type of activity. And we haven't done as much as we should. And so I think that's the direction that we should go in on, but I would just want to let you know that I can't support this legislation, and I'll be voting no.
Thank you. We're on the Second Amendment, the long amendment, and because we had other members come in, we'll call a long roll at this point.
Senator Albritton?
Aye.
Senator Chambliss? Senator Beasley? Senator Coleman? Senator Coleman Madison? Senator Elliott? Senator Gavan? Senator Jones? Senator Kelly? Senator Livingston? Senator Orr?
Aye.
Senator Price? Senator Shonut? Senator Stewart? Senator Stutz?
Aye.
Senator Weaver?
Just a second. We have 11 ayes and 5 nays. The amendment is adopted. Senator Gavan.
Well, first of all, I want to wish Senator Stewart, the other senator from Dallas County, happy birthday. Secondly, would move for for favorable report using previous role.
We have a motion. Do we have a second? We have a second. Motion for previous role. Any objection? No objection. We'll use the previous role. Bill's given a favorable 11-5. Call the second bill.
SB 155, Senator Woods.
Senator Woods, I've seen you often lately. Tell us about your bill.
All right, there we go. Thank you for having the bill on today. In short summary, this is the Renewing Coal Impacted Communities Act. It would create a comprehensive framework for distributing federal coal royalties and revenues here in the state of Alabama. And we want to be very conscientious of protecting the general fund through this bill. And the proposal laid out would actually look at historical numbers and make sure that we are sending enough money to the general fund to cover anything it has received over the last 10 years. So the first $1 million of these revenues would go directly to the general fund. The next $500,000 would be for the Port Authority for the McDuffie Coal Terminal, which is very important to the state at large. It's the 40%, I believe, the coal's revenue is derived from coal. So it's very important to that industry in our state. And the next $250,000 for the Surface Mining Commission. Anything in addition to that would go into a grant program that we are calling the Renewing Coal Impacted Communities Grant Fund for Economic Development and Workforce Development Initiatives. Happy to answer any questions.
Senator Sheldon, do you have an amendment?
Yes, Mr. Chairman, I have an amendment. This is a technical amendment. If you look at your amendment, I hope you have it. The Department of Workforce just defines that, Alabama Department of Workforce, and it has to do with reimbursement. While members cannot get paid, they can get reimbursed for some of their expenses while administering this. So I offer this amendment.
We have a motion and a second. We have a previous roll of 11-5. You want to use previous roll or clean roll? Call a long roll.
Senator Aubrey.
This is on the amendment that's been offered. Aye on the amendment.
Senator Chambliss. Senator Beasley. Senator Coleman. Senator Coleman Madison. Senator Elliott. Senator Gavan. Senator Jones. Senator Kelly. Senator Livingston. Senator Orr. Senator Price. Senator Shonut. Senator Stewart. Senator Stutz. Senator Weaver.
Amendments adopted 16-0. Now we're on the bill.
Move for favor.
Question.
We have a motion, and I'll second, and Senator Orr's question.
So, Senator, the economic development organizations that'll be eligible after the payout to the general fund, port, surface mining, who are those?
That is a broadly defined organizations. It could be a county, it could be a municipality, it could be a foundation, a university, an economic development group. It's pretty broadly. If you want to point to a line, I'll be happy to join you there and try to address it correctly.
Well, In my quick read, it mentions other area. I saw some other code sections. I didn't know if it was limited to the coal producing area or statewide, where if Dothan EDA had a workforce need, whether there was a limitation on it or not.
Yes, sir. This would be limited to the defined area of the coal-impacted communities.
Okay, who are those?
As defined in this bill, that would be Tuscaloosa County, Jefferson County, Walker, and Fayette County.
Okay.
And those entities within those counties would qualify.
Okay, thank you.
So is there any room for growth, so to speak? My understanding that North Alabama's got a lot of coal, it's just maybe not economical to produce it right now. For this to expand, should that ever become economical to recover?
To be clear, this is strictly related to federal coal leases, and it's a very unique situation we actually have here in the state. We just were awarded a federal coal lease for the first time in many years. So if there are federal coal leases in other parts of the state, they could qualify for this as long as they're awarded and they're producing coal.
Well, somewhere I thought Go Mesa was supposed to pay for everything in Mobile, so I think we may have to revisit Go Mesa.
I'm not going to comment on that.
I thought this was a revisit of Go Mesa. Any other questions? Any objection to using previous roll? No objections. Bill's given a favorable report.
Thank you, Chair.
Congratulations.
Thank you, committee.
Call the next bill.
SB 186, Senator Coleman.
You're up.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. SB 186, I'm very proud of. You all passed unanimously SB 46 last week out of the Senate that developed a distinctive marker for invisible disabilities on driver's license. What this bill does is it does the same thing though for license for our tags. And again, did we talk about, was that in this committee? No, I think we were in county municipal government when we talked a little bit about the driver's license. And again, this for me is personal. I have a bonus son who is driving now and is on the autism spectrum. And I was afraid of him driving, but he's doing it. But again, this will be something that law enforcement and others will know by this distinction that, and it'll be up to culture cities, because these are the folks that have spearheaded this movement to come up with that looks like, and people will be able to identify those folks that have invisible disabilities.
I've got one question, if I may. I think I have a question. Does getting this tag give them the ability to get the handicap hanger?
Now that I don't know, but a lot of people on the list, so page 1 all the way to page 2, if you look at all of those, the designees, many of them that will have to come through their doctor, communication impediment, hearing loss, blindness or visual impediment, autism spectrum disorder, traumatic brain injury, schizophrenia, Alzheimer's disease or dementia, post-traumatic stress disorder, epilepsy, developmental disability, Down syndrome, diabetes, a heart condition, or a cognitive disability. So I'm not sure. That's actually a question I can't answer, Mr. Chair.
And this may be frivolous. I don't mean it to be. But this is auto tags, right?
One more time?
Is this auto tags that we're doing?
Yes, yes, car tags, yes.
Okay. Would a blind person have a reason to have?
Well, the other piece of it too, is for the caregiver, somebody that is also transporting them.
So this could be a family member.
Sure, yes,
Okay.
and they can purchase that distinctive tag.
Okay, just
A
clarify.
great question.
Senator Weaver, you have a question?
I do, and I would have come to talk to you about this previously before committee. It slipped up on me. I saw invisible disability, and in my mind, I had it as your other bill that
we've passed out of the Senate and passed out of the House today as well.
So I thought it was coming back up. So first of all, let me say I totally support you in this effort, and I think that we need to be doing everything that we can to to make sure that life is easier for people who have these sorts of disabilities. So make no mistake that I'm in full support of that.
I hear the but.
But, so I'm coming today as the chairman of the very powerful License Plate Oversight Committee.
Ooh, didn't know we had one.
Yes, we do. And so actually we have lots of members on this committee that are also participate in that process. And so what I see here is a little bit of a difficult situation because, when we protect people with disabilities, with handicaps, they don't have to pay anything to have the hanger and to have that blue decal and that placard. So why would we not offer that same benefit to people who have the same disabilities? Why are we making them pay, shaking them down for $40 for this? And to me, this is a distinctive license plate for an organization. And the structure for a distinctive license plate for an organization is if they are going to use it as a fundraiser, they file the application through the Department of Revenue, it gets assigned to the License Plate Oversight Committee, and they go through the process with visual testing, with ALEA, with all the different things, and they have parameters that they have to meet in order to do this fundraiser for their license plate. And again, this is certainly nothing against this organization. They are probably a great organization. I don't know anything about them. But there are other organizations that are also working with all of these people. So what I see...
And they have the ability to do the distinctive license tag as well, and some of them already have. This tag is no different than my sorority,
which goes through the License Plate Oversight Committee.
But you can go through this. What do you want them to go through the oversight? I don't even know what it does, but I do know that and this is the part that is heartbreaking on this. There is another organization that does service some of these folks that is fighting this piece of legislation when they already have a distinctive license tag.
And I don't know anything about that.
They are, and I don't want to name, but this is volunteer. There is no, I'll let you finish, because when you use the word shakedown, this is volunteer. Right. Nobody's shaking any of them down. This would be a choice if you want to purchase this tag. As a matter of fact, if any of us wanted to support this particular group of people, we could purchase the tag, just like if you wanted to purchase the tag to support teachers or others. But it is disheartening that another organization that deals with the disability community has been sending letters to folks fighting this piece of legislation when they already have a distinctive tag.
So I will say I don't know anything about that. But for me, I think we should do this for free for these people. They have a disability. Why are we making them pay to have something that identifies them?
We are not making them pay, Senator. I simply just said that.
I know, but
what
I'm saying is we do it for people who have other disabilities. Why don't we provide this to them as well?
So let me go back to the bill that you just supported and we just passed on the driver's license. There was a fee on that as well. And it's a volunteer fee if you choose to have the distinction on your driver's license, which we passed unanimously, up to $10. We're doing the same thing. This group did the work, brought this issue to us. Why should they now be penalized by, and again, I don't know how many of you all have been, but it is very heartbreaking, again, for another group who already has a tag that is doing something to block this organization that services all these folks and that people are excited about.
And so, again, please know I'm not saying that people...
I didn't make the accusation against you, Senator. I was just showing the distinction that you just supported a piece of legislation.
People that you're talking about, did they go through the license plate oversight?
So I don't even know about that. I have no idea that process and how it works. When I purchased the tag and did all of that with my sorority, I didn't know that process. I just know that this is a group of people that when we were even in county municipal government, the law enforcement officers were like, hey, this is wonderful. This is great. You're going to save lives. And so, again, I don't know that process. If that has to be, I don't have an issue with us adding something on, but pitting people against each other that just want to help the same community, that's wrong.
So, again, I think we should do this for free, and if your organization wants to follow the process...
It's not my organization. I just have a loved one that actually would benefit from this. It's not my organization. I'm not connected to this organization at all. This is the same piece of legislation that in the House they supported for Representative Lee Husley. This is the companion version of the bill. And again, I'm going to say it over and as many times as I can. The disability organization that is doing what it is doing to try to keep this from moving forward, you are dead wrong. And that's disheartening to know that you would stop someone else because you didn't think of it first. That makes no sense to me.
All right. Senator Elliott, you have a question?
I do. Senator Coleman, I was very supportive of SB 46, if I have
Yes.
that number correct. I'm trying to use our blazing fast internet here to find that. That $10 fee that you mentioned, does that go to an organization or is that for a
No,
process?
it goes to ALEA to process.
Okay, so
I was just simply making the distinction if we're saying we're going to do it for free. We didn't do it for free there.
Yes, ma'am. I just was trying, because here this is a specific organization, and in that piece of legislation, it was ALEA to process.
Yes.
And I wanted to make sure I had that correct in my head.
You
Thank
are correct.
Mr. Chairman.
Senator Stutz, I think you're next.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. The exclusive rights to design the license plate. Tell me about that group.
Thank you. So it's
Who is that group, and what else do they do?
So and I will tell you about that, but I just wanted to make note that anyone who has the distinctive tag and they come up with what it looks like. That's not different than any other way we would do the distinctive tag. Culture City is an organization that does work nationally around the invisible disabilities community, and they do absolutely wonderful work.
Senator.
I do want to ask this, and I didn't tell her I was going to do this, but Ashton Kitchens is here, who is the wife of one of our members who has been very actively involved in this issue. If members wanted to hear, Mr. Chair, about Culture City and what they do, is that appropriate?
Let's get some questions done, and then if we need to, we can call her up, if that's okay. We got a couple more going on. Senator Price first, and go ahead, Senator Price.
Senator, I appreciate what you're doing.
Thank you.
And I respect what you're doing. But what Senator Weaver has alluded to is very true. There's a process. And I think that what I would rather see happen today, even in the design, this committee approves that design.
For us to be the people to approve the design?
No. I'm talking about the committee that Senator Weaver chairs. And that committee has been in place, and there are other members of your colleagues that sit on that committee. And so what I'm saying, is I'm not against what you're trying to do. I'm saying for you and Senator Weaver to get together and let's go through the correct process of what we need to do here today.
Thank you. And I did hear you. I can do more than one thing at one time. Senator Weaver's committee did not come up with the design for Delta Sigma Theta's tag and many of the others. However, for the sake of, the kumbaya, this is important. This is important, and I truly do wish that, Senator Weaver, we could have had the conversation prior to. There are a lot of folks that are watching and we're excited about this piece of legislation, and it would have been nice had we had that opportunity. I'll make my own motion, Mr. Chair, to carry it over. I hope that we would give a brief opportunity because I know we're limited on time, for Ashton just to talk a little bit about Culture Cities for those folks that may have some questions about the organization.
I would prefer, because we are running real short. Let's carry this over. Any objection to carrying this bill over? No objection. We'll carry the bill over. And we're going to move on from here. And if you would, let's plan on bringing this up. We'll talk about getting on next week, and we'll get Katera. Is that her name? The lady that's going to speak.
She's right there,
Yeah,
Ashton Kitchens.
We're going to do that next week.
Okay, Mr. Chair. I was hoping because they had the questions and they were fresh on them.
I make one comment. I'm happy to work with you to go through that, show you that process, and work you through the process any way you need to.
Call the next bill.
HB 39, Representative Brown.
Representative Brown, you got 2 minutes to explain.
Yes, sir, Mr. Chairman. So last year, we passed a bill, the legislature passed a bill, and it was signed by the governor dealing with wholesale seafood licenses. And somewhere along the line, a section of code was omitted. And our intent was to include everyone where they wouldn't have to pay any type of higher fee. And instead, it exempted, it left out shrimpers, crabbers, oystermen, and all this is a ability, making it where we can fix that legislation from last year to include all of commercial seafood.
This is an exemption of license fee, but you're including one other that you thought you had last time?
Well, what they did, there's 2 sections of code, and the top section has line fishermen and net fishermen, and the bottom section has shrimpers, oystermen, and crabbers, and somehow the bottom section was left out when it was signed by the governor. And so all this does is include all of the commercial seafood entities, and that was our original intent, and that's what we're trying to fix here.
Move favorable.
We got a motion and second. You have a question?
I just want to be clear. Are we exempting them from paying licensing fees?
Well, no. So inside commercial seafood, there's some individuals that are sell commercial seafood, have a wholesale license as well. Not everyone, but some of them do. And so what we did, we worked with the grocers last year to create a marketing program through Sweet Grown Alabama. And what we were trying to do is to exempt those individuals that also hold a commercial seafood license, but somehow we admitted some of those people that were meant to be exempt.
And if I might, on the fiscal note that says that the DNCR would be affected by $4,800 per fiscal year, minimal.
Okay, thank you.
We have a motion and a second. Any objection using previous roll? No objection. Bill's given a favorable report.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman.
Call
Thank
the
you,
next
members.
bill.
HB 77, Representative Paschal.
2 minutes, Mr. Paschal.
Yes, Mr. Chairman, members. Just offer the motion a second and let's vote. Well, no, this is one of our military and veterans bills for this session. This is just to enhance our veterans that already have earned their benefits to maximize their ability to purchase a home. Currently in Alabama, if you receive a 100% disability rating as a veteran, you're exempt from paying property taxes, which is a good thing. But however, during the purchasing process, the debt, your property taxes is still including your debt to income ratio. So my bill is going to alleviate that. It will allow that veteran, once you
Second. Holy cow. Any objection to previous roll? No objection? All right, Bill's given a favorable report.
Thank you, members.
You were not under the time limit.
Okay, thank you all so much.
HB 104, Blackshear has asked that be carried over, so that bill is carried over.
Chair?
Call the next bill.
The Senate sponsor was not aware of that. Blackshear asked you?
Yeah. Who asked that one? I would suggest that was the House member's interested party that proposed the bill that asked that. Well, if you want to handle it?
I think we should. It's
let's-
pretty simple.
let's
it's
call
straightforward. It's a
104
really
then.
easy bill that no controversy. Just kidding.
Unlike the others that we have left.
Currently,
I've heard that before too.
And I said just kidding. So currently, the state auditor, state treasurer, handles unclaimed property. There are no provisions for digital assets in that law that was written way back when. So this bill would provide a mechanism for digital assets as well. If you have any questions about that, I cannot answer them, but there are people here that can. The second part of it, and the part that I'm really interested in, is dealing with consumer protection, and especially when it comes to what are called finders, who go in and cull all of these, and then they take a percentage and all that kind of stuff. This bill deals with that. I don't think there's much controversy about individuals, finders who are dealing with individuals or small businesses or medium businesses. But there is some controversy about big business. And the thought is that big business, we should stay out of them working with each other. So that's an overview of the bill. And I will continue to work with the big business side to see what we work, if we can work that out or not. So with that, I would just present it to the committee.
First off, let me go back. My premature motion to carry over is withdrawn. And upon motion, the good senator from, what county are you from? In Montgomery County. Tahoga, okay, one of those, is brought forward, and we have a motion for a favorable report. Is that correct? And a second? And we have a comment. Go ahead.
Thank you. So on page 15, and I know this is sort of ancillary to what your goal is here, the sponsor's goal, but I would like some input from the bankers on safe deposit boxes. I just had to drill one, and there was nothing in there but photographs. So I surely don't think that for instances like that needs to be sold by the state of Alabama. So we may want something that just, I don't know,
Did you
deal with
have
that.
a specific line item you were looking?
That was in, let's see.
Page 15, I think you said.
Actually, it's on, I'm sorry, page 14, 392. It adds or the contents of a safe deposit box. I think that's just something we need to talk about with the Treasurer and the Bankers Association because that's their world.
Gotcha. Yes, sir.
Coleman Madison first.
Thank you. I know, Senator Chambliss, you said you may not be answered, but this is coming like the same thing as unclaimed property, right?
Yes, ma'am. Mm-hmm.
Okay, but we're dealing with bank accounts. I don't quite understand crypto, but bank accounts and other things. Anything that involves online banking.
No. Not. These are digital assets.
There's online banking stuff.
No. That's.
According to the bill, is what it says. Well, according to the explanation or the definition that I looked it up last night, it would include online, anything that has to do with online, digital, and banking is one of those banking accounts and things like that.
My understanding, and the Treasurer's Office can correct me, is that is a physical asset that's represented through a digital platform. A digital asset is like cryptocurrency and all of that kind of stuff.
Okay, but under examples and again, I looked this up last night because I didn't quite understand. Examples that was a bank account, crypto, storage of things in the account, basically access and management of online accounts for planning and succession of this.
Where are you reading from, if you don't mind?
No, I'm not reading.
Oh, from your notes.
From
Okay.
definitions that I looked up to find out because I wasn't quite understanding what is included in this. So if somebody could explain it to me, and then I think on page 19, it talked about as far as a person can claim the property, without a fee. Is somebody here that can tell me about this? Because we're talking about assets that could be sizable. Says that a property may be, this is on page 18, number 4 at the bottom, says that the property may be recovered from the state treasury without payment of a fee. Again, I need to know about, and if you got family members, again, this is under unclaimed properties kind of thing, but you got somebody that can I guess can search for it and get a fee. Explain how this would impact an individual citizen that has a bank account or something like that and is in the unclaimed property or what have you. How does this, what does this mean?
Yes, ma'am. So what this does, when you're talking about the finders and this information that's on page 18, that's just saying that the contract, if a citizen enters into a contract with a finder to pay a fee, that contract has to include the language that says they could come directly to the treasurer without paying a fee. It's just to give them notification of that. Doesn't prevent them from entering into that contract.
What type of assets are we talking about that's included in this?
In unclaimed property as a whole?
No, just under what this bill would authorize based on what it says digital assets and examples of digital assets based on what the definition is that I looked up include a bank account, and online banking, anything that had to deal with online banking or digital assets.
If you look at starting in line 48 on page 2, it gives you a specific definition of what that digital asset is. So it's not going to include like your online banking accounts.
Okay. Now, for the purpose of the bill, it does mention on page 3, when financial organizations, it does mention savings and loans association, banking, credit unions. And so how does this play into it? Or is just...
So those accounts they can be turned over as unclaimed property. So if you have a bank account at a Regions Bank or a River Bank, then it goes abandoned and there's no activity for a period of years on that account, it can be turned over as unclaimed property, and it is, and it has been forever.
Yeah, that's current law.
Yeah, but how is it different from... I'm trying to get a separation from what this bill does, and this is just a mention of it?
Yes, ma'am. That was already included, so that's nothing that's changing. We're adding the definition for the digital asset, which is going to be your crypto type asset.
Okay. Thank you.
Yes, ma'am. And also, I can mention that you talked about the safety deposit boxes with the pictures and all that. That's already, we do not sell pictures and personal items like that. So those items will not be included.
Any other questions? Comments, suggestions?
Call the question.
Medications. We have a motion and a second, correct? All right. All in, what's the previous roll? I forgot what the previous roll was. Any objection to using the previous roll, which was positive? No objections? We'll adopt the previous roll, and Bill's given a favorable report after all of that. Thank you. All right.
Chairman.
I hope I'm not foregoing or getting too far ahead, but HB 145, that is a companion to a Senate bill that has already passed. We passed this and passed it up here at the Senate version. That Senate version's already passed the House, so this is kind of moot. Any problems with me carrying that over from anyone?
Carry it over, Mr. Chairman.
All right, carried over. Thank you. That bill's carried over. That puts us now with about 3 minutes left, and here's what I'd like to do in these last 3 minutes. I've got 2 bills. They need to be discussed. I want and will have public hearings on these, but I also have an amendment to one. What I'd like to do today is call the one up that has an amendment, add the amendment, and then we'll bring them forward next week for the public hearings. Any objections to that? Well, let's pull up, first off, let's pull up SB 37. Kurt, call SB 37 for me. I just did. We got it. All right. What we're doing is a technical amendment. There's one on the back page. We're replacing the numeral 0 where it says 40-23-4.1 in the bill. The amendment makes that 40-23-4.01. Move for the adoption. Have second? Second. Any objection to previous roll? Seeing no objection, the amendment's adopted.
Chairman, okay, all right, since you kind of rushed through that, but what does this code say?
We're going to hold these until next week so we can have a full discussion on it.
So
it's just a technical.
Yeah.
Doesn't change the bill at all. It simply corrects the citation.
Okay, you'll be prepared to answer that question next week, right?
Oh, of course.
Ms. Chair, I would like to say something in whatever minutes we have, 3.
We have 1.5.
Yeah, I just wanted to make note that there are people that drove here today for the public hearing. I know stuff happens.
I think it's a conspiracy to prevent the hearings from occurring, so I'm going to have them.
I understand that, but you're going to do them next week, so that means they have to drive back. I just wanted to acknowledge somebody in the room, if that is appropriate. One of my mayors is here.
Oh, certainly. Who's the mayor?
From in town, but she's in here today as her capacity as the city attorney for Birmingham, but she is my newly elected mayor for the city of Pleasant Grove, the city that I live in, Yolanda Lawson.
All right, thank y'all. We look forward to seeing you next week. We stand adjourned. Thank you.